Hello and welcome back, adventurers. Let's talk again about Barovia and its land and people. Count Strahd von Zarovich is a harsh lord, keeping noble distant from his realm's petty affairs. Dubbed the Devil Strahd by the locals, the Count demands strict obedience from his subjects. His edicts are few and public appearances even fewer. He seems to prefer the cold comfort of Castle Ravenloft, where he is surrounded by his crumbling glory. Count Strahd has not yet taken a wife. It is rumored that he harbors an unquenchable lust for commoner women. To his credit, Strahd's lordship is unwavering and blessedly free of the courtly backstabbings and pretender kings. By law, no one but Strahd's direct male descendant may rule Barovia, and this rule is absolute. Strahd enforces only 3 laws of significance. First, no one may enter Castle Ravenloft without Count's permission, on pain of death. Well, most native Barovians would never even dream of approaching the castle. Countless foolish adventurers have apparently made an attempt. None have lived to tell the tale, which is not to say that none have ever returned. Second, theft from the state is considered treason and punishable by death. This applies equally to a beggar who steals Count's food or to a burgomaster who steals Count's gold. And finally, Strahd decreed that the lives of the Vistani are protected by state. Any who spill Vistani blood forfeit their own lives. None can really say why they were given such a treatment, and while every Barovian had a theory, Vistani themselves refused to speak on the matter. But I can assure you, Vistani are Strahd's eyes and ears, and all of us should be careful what we say or do in front of them. Another thing to keep in mind if one wishes to stay safe in Barovia is to be aware of Strahd von Zarovich's secret identity. The Count uses the name von Holtz if he ever wishes to talk or deliver messages to us simple commoners. Barovia is famous for its brandy. Luscious local plums are favored over grape wine as a basis for the best brandy. The premier orchards, such as Antonetta's, are concentrated along the Svalich Pass and especially in the region near Valaki. Vineyards are also a common sight near former Gondrak region, with Martikovs spearheading the wine production. Though few of its crafted goods received much attention in other lands, Barovia's wood carving is prized throughout the southern core. Absurdly, nobles covet only authentic Barovian woodcrafts, crafted by the naughty digits of an appropriately oppressed peasant. Particularly sought after are signature local works such as voluptuous wardrobes covered in dance floor carvings, massive throne-like dining chairs with a wolf motif, and sensible wooden toys produced by Blinsky. Most of the trade in the realm is conducted with the ancient currency of von Zarovich's. The head sides of such coins are identical, regardless of denomination, depicting von Zarovich's arms ringed by the phrase, "Never again conquered, home forevermore." The copper piece is called the rat tooth, the silver the raven claw, and gold a wolf fang, each coin side showing an appropriate creature. Now, fellow adventurers, let me tell you where you can find a warm meal, and where this meal will come with strings attached. Kresk is situated at the northwestern border of Barovia. Remnants of Turk occupation persist here in crumbling traces of their architecture and scrolled graffiti from their blasphemous holy book. Perhaps most conspicuously, a towering Turk minaret, known as the Needle of Gadar, dominates the village's square. The structure's purpose is unknown, same with the fact why Strahd allows it to remain. The cult of Morning Lord maintains its largest temple in Kresk, the Sanctuary of First Light. The sanctuary also houses the Hands of the Dawn Healer, mummified hands of the Morning Lord's first high priest, said to heal anything, including lycanthropy. The renowned Red Vardo traders, headed by Jacqueline Mantari, have made a reputation as ruthless finders who can recover lost or stolen cargo, object, or even people. Their methods are closely guarded, and many suspect them of underworld dealings, but the truth might be even worse. See, their leader lives under a shadow of a bizarre Vistani curse. Jacqueline established the Red Vardo traders to assist in her perpetual hunt for her original head, the whereabouts of which remain a mystery. Lying along the Crimson Road at the western frontier of Barovia, Zeidenberg is Barovia's largest settlement, a prosperous but dangerous town on the brink of revolution. The surrounding countryside has a reputation as a heaven for brigands, while Gundrakite freedom fighters, or Courtiers of Chaos, how they call themselves, have declared Zeidenberg an official launching point of their revolution. Ardunk Zerieza spends most of his time and efforts here while in Barovia, which only heightens the tensions. Zeidenberg grew around the Ashen Stronghold, a green fortress of charcoal grey stone. It was the most difficult and bloody settlement for Count von Zarovich to seize in the wake of great upheaval, requiring a 4-month siege that ended only when the Gundrakites were overwhelmed by rats breeding in the village's mass graves. Lisa von Zarovich, distant relative of the Count himself, has an estate in the heart of Zeidenberg. For 2 centuries she was involved into perpetual plots to frustrate, undermine or topple Strad von Zarovich, all to no avail. In recent years, Count finally made a move against her by administering an alchemical poison. Lisa slipped into torpor and now finds that she can only wake up for 3 hours a night, though this span is growing. The Count will likely never destroy her utterly, as her hateful antics amuse him too much. Teufeldorf lies in the southeastern Barovia, where the Balanoks quickly drop away to the edge of the Teperich forest along the Crimson Road. Teufeldorf's most striking feature is undoubtedly the Twisting Tower. Its corkscrew profile and leering gargoyles rise from the highest point in Teufeldorf. Though it supposedly once housed a cabal of black magicians in thrall to the Gundars, it is now used to train a handful of Barovian soldiers in military tactics and intelligence. Fearful boyars in this area say that the Balverzi, the assassins that once attempted to slay Strad himself, have resurfaced in Teufeldorf. Before Strad doomed Barovia, the Balverzi were a cabal of mortal assassins, notorious for their remorseless character and devious methods. When Barovia was ensnared by the Dark Powers, a handful of low-ranking assassins became trapped in the realm of dread. In 697, the Balverzi took a fateful contract for the life of Nico Moldenesti, a wicked boyar from the southern edge of Dreadmount and also a Nosferatu vampire. Amused by the tenacity of the mortal assassins, Nico elected to make the cabal his own tool and quickly seized leadership himself, turning everyone into vampires. Though they have retained their immoral, avaricious character, modern Balverzi refuse to approach one particular figure. They will not accept coin from Strad von Zarovich, nor from any client that would see the Count slain. Nested at the western end of the Svalich Pass, Valaki is a pivotal crossroads for the entire southern core. Once the village was a quaint lakeshore holiday spot for the noble families, but it has since grown into a prosperous economic heartland for Barovia. Surrounding orchards, distilleries and fishermen production all contribute to the well-being of Valaki. Though its modest, bustling streets might not suggest as much, Valaki has a sinister reputation for harboring arcane secrets. In the village graveyard stands the vault of Queen Roach, which supposedly holds 101 enchanted suits of armor, not to mention lethal traps and the unliving husk of the old collector himself. The village of Barovia is arguably the realm's bleakest settlement. Crouched under the looming shadow of Castle Ravenloft, the village marks the eastern end of Svalich Pass and serves as an unnatural toll station for travelers on the old Svalich Road. Known locally as the Devil's Descent, the road twists back and forth as it drops in its approach to the village from the east and offers a remarkable view of the valley below. To the west, the Zer Falls plunge 1,000 feet to the white waters below, accompanied by a whistling, echoing downdraft. A perpetual ring of fog encloses the village and its surroundings, bearing an uncanny resemblance to the mists themselves. One can enter the fog freely, but those who leave the village without Strad's permission die in a horrible, choking fit. Travelers need not despair, however. Opportunistic Vistani can sell an elixir that grants one resistance to the choking mists. The villagers who dwell here are horribly wretched even for Barovians, plodding through their daily rituals with the hollow look of prisoners. The whole town is wrapped in a palpable morbid aura, as the fog was a funeral shroud and the citizens the walking dead. There are a few bastions against the dismal atmosphere among the venerable Blood of the Wine Inn owned by Martikovs. The inn is the headquarters for one of the most secret and ambitious conspiracies of the realm of dread, the Keeper of the Black Feather. Their goal is nothing less than the destruction of Strahd von Zarovich, whose vampiric nature the Keepers know. Most members of the Keepers are noble Barovian men and women, unable to suffer Count's tyranny any longer. The leadership, however, is filled with natural and afflicted were-ravens. The Keepers of the Feather sadly help the enemies of Strahd to stop him for good. Imol lies in the extreme southeast of Barovia, cradled by the Bolonaks and standing as the southmost bastion of the von Zaroviches. The Warlock's Road provides a vital link between the village and the realm of Haslan to the south. Keep of the Scarlet Cross dominates the village. According to the locals, it is used to be a stronghold for the Knights of the State Church, posted to prevent civil unrest. Imol and its area host two tiny ethnic groups found nowhere else in Barovia, the Forfarians and the Tani. The druidic legacy of Forfarians has resulted in a modern proliferations of herbalists and healers. The Tani, meanwhile, speak to this day of their ancient captors, who they call the Silent Masters or the Four-Fingered Ones. They are still convinced that their captors will come for them, and most have their traveling knapsacks ready. This video wouldn't be complete without us discussing the castle where everything began. Nearly 20 stories tall, the castle overlooks the village of Barovia from the northwest, where stones the color of bright bone and thick shroud of ivy, grim and crumbling, filled with tarnished glories, ancient cruelties and secrets not meant for the eyes of men. Strahd's renovations since becoming vampire have all been aimed at vexing mortal intruders. As an example, several doorways that once offered easy access to sections of the castle have now been bricked over, leaving tiny cracks just wide enough for the mists to seep through. Multiple traps and secret passages plague the floors, making it difficult to even navigate the halls, much less survive them. Strahd is known to hoard wealth and magical items, but his real treasury is one of those secret rooms. Strahd von Zarovich have been practicing his magic for centuries, and is a formidable foe with a lot of tricks to destroy ill-equipped adventurers. One of his experiments led to the creation of the Heart of Sorrow, a beating living heart of the castle itself. Many will find that a faint heartbeat can be felt in the center tower, accompanied with a red glow. Its magic is said to keep Strahd from harm, spreading rumors of Count's immortality. And this is it for Barovia. Thank you very much for watching, and especially if you made it to the end. And next time we will discuss Forlorn, the second realm to appear. But for now, remember, Strahd is looking for a new spouse, and with a little bit of luck, it can be you.